Hi, my name is Hayden Rummel and I'm the Senior Client Service Manager on the Crossmark Samsung dedicated team. Today I want to talk to you about the upcoming Walmart tab section refresh, which essentially consists of ensuring that the new tablet merchandise is on display as well as that the new graphics are updated. Now we've put everything that you could possibly need inside the kit that's going to be shipped to the store. We've also accounted for 5 different versions of the kit. Walmart has 5 different types of section where they have the tablets. You've got the 4-foot inline section, which is essentially a 4-foot space that is in a regular aisle. You've got the 2-foot inline section, which is just the 2-foot version of that. There's a 4-foot racetrack section, which is basically 4 feet along that the loop aisle that goes around the whole store. That's called the racetrack. There's a 2-foot racetrack version, which is again the 2-foot version of the racetrack. There's the laptop island, which there's about 800 Walmart locations that have a laptop island, and essentially it is a section that's kind of set apart from the rest of the aisles. And that's where they have laptops and tablets and that sort of thing. So it's clearly indicated on both the project title as well as the kit that comes to the store, and all the instructions, everything are very clear about what the location is that you're going to, whether it should be a 2-foot, a 4-foot, an island, that sort of thing. Now, if you get to the store and for whatever reason it appears that the store's section doesn't match up with the section that was loaded or that was shipped for that particular store, please call field support because we definitely need to know if there's some sort of discrepancy. So this is what the kit is going to look like. It is about 4 feet long, and then it sits about about 6 inches tall. So you should find this, if not in the electronics department, somewhere in the back. It's been very clearly marked that this is a Samsung GT3 tablet update for the 4-foot inline. In this case, it says Attention Electronics Department Manager and hold for Crossmark Rep. So as you can see, it says pretty specifically on the outside of the kit exactly which section this should go with. So the easiest way to get into the kit itself is going to be if you make one cut along the edge here, one cut that goes all the way down the length of the middle, and then one cut along that side edge right here. And then once you've done that, you just flip this open. You can then flip the other side open, and that gives you access to everything inside. You'll notice right away that the instructions are the first thing that you're presented with. You'll see here's the Walmart tab refresh priorities, which we're going to go over. On the back side, it lists how to set up the screensaver for each of the tablets. And then right here you have the planogram that shows exactly how everything is supposed to be set up in terms of the graphics up here, and then in terms of the tablets themselves down here. We've also listed under the planogram additional price tags that Samsung would like to have included next to the devices. So since we're going to be updating and primarily having the Tab 3s and the Note 8, the other devices that they have that they currently sell, like the Tab 2s, won't have any product on display. Well, what they'd like to do is get an additional tag printed for those. So say for instance the Note 8 White is going to be what's in the far left slot. What they would like is for the Note 8 White to be tagged, but also for the Note 10.1 White and Gray to have a tag sitting there as well, so that the consumer knows that there's more than just the Note 8 available for purchase. Okay, so before we get back to the kit, let's talk about priorities. So the number one priority of this project is to ensure that new live Tab 3 Note 8 merchandise is up and is secured, and the demo content is playing. If at all possible, at the end of this project, we want to make sure that the new merchandise is up on display. So that is the number one priority. Now, as a part of that, you're going to have to ask for the store to give you the devices that are going to be placed on the display. You want to utilize any already open merchandise prior to asking for new boxes. It's possible that the store will already have the new merchandise on display, especially the laptop islands. Almost every laptop island location will likely already have the new merchandise up and on display and secured. But the rest of the locations, there's a good chance that you will have to do that part as well. So use the letter of authorization that's attached to the project, and they'll give you the merchandise that you need. We've included tools in the kit that we'll look at here in just a second that'll assist with the removal of any older tablet units if you need to do that from their security devices. The store should have any components needed to install the new kits, but we've also included some things in the kit that you've got just in case, like alcohol wipes, adhesives, things like that, just in case you need them. You definitely want to take your time and ensure that the devices are not crooked when attached. It's really important that they line up straight and that they look good. And then we've also included some, like I said, some separate in-view security instructions in the kit that will help you with attaching the new tablets as well. Now, when you remove any of the older tablets, please give them directly to the store manager. We want to make sure that there's no issues there. So if you remove any of the older tablets, give them over to the manager. And then after the new units have been plugged in and powered on, you're going to turn the demo content on each of those tablets. The instructions for that are actually on the back so this is the instruction front, and on the back you've got the screensaver instructions, so you want to make sure that you go through that for each device. And then you want to make sure all graphics are refreshed according to the planogram that's included in the kit, and that tags are in place for all of the Samsung Tab merchandise, including, like I mentioned earlier, the items that are not on display. They want tags for those next to the devices that are on display. Now, in terms of priorities, we understand that in certain circumstances and under certain store conditions, it may not be possible to do everything that I just mentioned exactly how I just said it. So you may have a location where the store refuses the placement of live tablet merchandise for some reason or another. They may say that they are extremely high theft location, so they just don't do that. So in their place, you're going to utilize dummy tablets. We're going to look at those here in just a second in the kit, but you'll use dummy tablet devices that are included in the kit that was shipped to the store. You're going to follow the same instructional diagram as if you were putting up the live merchandise. So you'll follow that planogram. You'll use the dummy devices instead. If possible, you'll attach the dummy devices using in-store security. So the in-view security pedestals or whatever they may be using is what you would want to use so that it doesn't disrupt from the flow and how it looks. If for whatever reason they don't have the in-store security that you can use, we've also included little pedestals. They're little white pedestals that I'll show you here in a second. And those pedestals are also to be used with these dummy devices if they won't let you use the store security to attach the dummy devices. One thing to keep in mind is you don't want to use those pedestals with actual live merchandise. Those pedestals are they just use double-sided tape essentially to hold them in place and then to hold the dummy devices in place. That is not the kind of security that you need to hold live merchandise in place. So that would be essentially the second wave of priorities. If they won't let you use the live merchandise, use the dummy tablets. Use it with store security if they'll let you. Use it with the white pedestals that were included if they won't let you use the store security or if they don't have it. And then also obviously making sure that the graphics are updated, that the tags are in place and that sort of thing. So let's go back to the kit and just look a little bit more through some of those components. Alright, so to start with, we have the pedestals over here, and I've already cut this open. These are the pedestals that are to be used if for whatever reason the store is not letting you display the live merchandise. They are going to let you display the dummy devices. However, the dummy devices cannot be attached to the store security. You will use these pedestals instead. You can see on the bottom that they have some double-sided tape. You just remove this right here and set it up like so, and then what you'll use to put on those is over here, which is the dummy tablets. Now the dummy tablets, I've already removed them from their packaging, but the dummy tablets come, and on the back it says which tablet it is, and on the front you can see it basically looks just like the tablets. So you've got all the different versions here and so on. And then also included in that package is some additional double-sided tape, and that tape is what you'll use to attach the tablet to the stand like so that you have it set up basically in place of where the live merchandise would be. Alright, so if we remove this piece right here, then we get down to the bottom, And we can see the first thing that we see is the additional in-view items that are referred to. So you can see that there's some instructions included that talk about safely removing merchandise. So anything that's currently on display, like a Tab 2 device or a Note 10 that needs to come off in order for the new merchandise to be displayed, you've got the instructions to do so. There's also an included tool to help remove the adhesive from those devices. There's alcohol wipes, which are extremely important to use on the back of the device that you're going to be installing, as well as making sure that any remaining residue has been completely removed from the security puck. It's extremely important just to make sure that that's a completely clean surface so that it doesn't impact the security device's ability to do its job. These are the additional adhesives that you'll need for attaching the new devices. Again, if the store doesn't have all of that. So this is the in-view kit that basically has all that you would need from a security standpoint, assuming the store doesn't have it. Next, we have all of the graphics that are going to be included. So the first piece that we see is the header, which goes at the top, and this is our header right here. Now, the header basically goes in to some little grooves that are already in place. Now, there may be a header that's already in place there. You'll just pull it out and replace it with this new header. The next piece that we've got is the rail graphic. So this rail graphic is one that literally just slides in. There's some grooves that are holding probably what the current graphic is that's there. This literally just slides into those rails. And then we've got next the back panel graphic. This is the panel that goes behind the tablets. And so this is the back panel graphic. That also has grooves that it just slides into. So the last piece that we have is the tabletop graphic. And you'll see the tabletop graphic is the one that goes underneath the tablet devices. Now, it's set up a little bit differently in that it has some holes for the security devices to go through, as well as if there is any sort of an S Pen device that gets connected, then it goes into one of these smaller holes at the front. So the way that it sets up, you'll have to remove whatever tabletop graphic is there currently, and then on the back side, if we flip this over, you'll see that there's double-sided tape on this. So you'll just want to make sure that when you're laying this tabletop graphic down, you peel off and basically set it down with all of the double-sided tape exposed. Once you have it in place, make sure that you smooth it out, make sure that it's very flat, and then on the edges, press down. You want to make sure you press down around all edges and just make sure that it's nice and flat so that it can't be lifted up. There have been some instances where some of these are just set down without removing the tape, so it's critical to make sure that you remove the tape before placing these down. Now, one thing that you may notice here is that these need to be put into place prior to the new tablets being installed. So you'll have to make sure that the tablets are off before you set this in place, simply because the security comes up through the holes in the graphic. So once you've opened up the new device, the first thing that you'll need to do is power it on and then go through a few of the little setup screens. Now, the setup screens can basically just be skipped through. If it asks you to set up a new account, skip it. If it asks you for setting up a network, skip it. You can just skip through pretty much everything by clicking the skip button at the bottom. Now, once you get into the actual device itself, you'll see some things at the bottom. In order to set up the screensaver, you just need to go to the apps icon, which you can see right here. It's got all the little squares, so click the apps icon, and then you'll want to look for the screensaver app. Now, you may have to scroll side to side to be able to find it. In this case, it's located right here, the Galaxy Tab 3 screensaver. You click that, and then you'll just go through a few little setup things. So service enable, you want to check that checkbox with your finger. Enable touch to stop, you want to make sure that that's checked as well. Then down at the bottom, you've got the screen timeout. If you click screen timeout, it'll bring up a bunch of different options for the timeout. You want to set that for 30 seconds, so you just click 30 seconds. And then once you've done that, all you need to do is hit Start Screensaver. and that'll start the screensaver for you. Now, to make sure that it's really working, I would go ahead and just hit it and make sure it stops it. Then you can hit the back button right here, which will take you out of that screensaver mode. Then what I would do is I would just watch it for about 30 seconds without your touching it and see if the screensaver comes on. What should happen is that it should start playing a video similar to this. So now I'm just going to end here by showing you a few pictures of what the displays should look like after the fact. The 4-foot inline, the 2-foot inline, the 4-foot racetrack, the 2-foot racetrack, and the laptop island. And so we've talked about basically all of the different ways that this set could possibly go. There's again a lot of different options. As long as you stick to the priorities of the most important thing is to try and get the new merchandise on display, and then working your way backwards from there. Of if they don't let you put the new merchandise out for whatever reason, use the dummy devices. If they don't let you use those, make sure everything's got the graphics up at least, and more than anything, make sure that everything is tagged if nothing else. If there's anything that you don't use in the kit, hang on to it, take it with you because you may need it in the future. And if at any time you run into any sort of challenges during the refresh, please do not hesitate to call field support and let them know what's going on. They can transfer you over to the Samsung War Room if necessary, and we can assist with pretty much whatever you need. The tracking information for this will be attached to the project, as well as field support will have it. So if you're concerned about whether the kit has arrived or not, definitely go ahead and give them a call. The schedule dates that are in the system should not allow for you to schedule prior to the kit arriving. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate again to let us know, and we really appreciate everything that you're doing in the field right now.